Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back talking Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online Season 2. Um, as we continue on with me reviewing all the episodes again, right? This is episode 2, and we kind of basically start where episode 1 started off with Llenn running away from all these gunshots and everything. Um, and that's where we basically pick up right here. So they get basically teleported into the squad jam, and essentially, like any of these things, it's basically a battle royale. It's basically like Fortnite, Warzone, you name it. Any battle royale that you play that is a shooter, where your team has to outlast all the other teams to win the battle royale. And if you're the winner, well, you're the winner, right? So, that's the thing, right? So they basically plan and get ahead and get the lay of the land, but even more like how it's a battle royale this time. It's more on like it looks more like an island like that you would see in Warzone or Fortnite. And then even they do the typical like, well, they don't do the gas thing or like the storm thing, right? What they do here is they just kind of make it to where the water is basically, the tide is rising and it gets closer to the island to where basically there's nothing left to fight. And obviously, in typical battle royale fashion, there's a set point in the middle um of the field where that's like going to be the main final battle, and you got to outlast every single team. If you see a team, you gotta take them out and make sure your team doesn't get taken out. Otherwise you lose. Funny enough, like I was playing freaking Fortnite yesterday with two buddies, and we ended up winning like 3 times, and we ended up losing the rest. I forgot how many times we lost. I think we lost like 6 times or something like that. Straight. We in our last night match of the night, we almost just pulled off the one, but ended up getting ganged up on by one team, right? Anyways, so because of this, they see that the water's rising. They're like, well, that means we got to keep going to the center, right? So they basically like, well, let's do some good scouting. And of course, they send Llenn to go do it. Now, if you remember from the first season, um, Llenn can actually run, like, I think like her agility stats are like super like high, and especially the fact that she's a character model where she's small. She can not only run fast, but she has like high agility too, right? So you basically get the start of the first episode when she's running. She's like, "I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die!" That's what we get here in episode 2, which basically catches up to speed with where we're at. Uh, and it's absolutely funny because she's just screaming out like, "I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die!" as all these individuals are legitimately like shooting at her. Because remember, like the other people, like they legitimately just signed up so they can kill Pito, and they know Lenn's in Pito's group, so they're like, well, if we gotta kill Llenn, well, too bad. She may be cute stuff right there, but I want to kill Pito. So they're looking at this as like a chance to get rid of Pito, and weaken her, and get revenge on her, right? But you just have it like throughout this like first half bit and a little bit of the second half bit of the episode where Llenn is just legitimately just running around and just dodging, diverting attention to get Pito, M, and Fuka all ready to prepare for what we see in the back half of the episode in the freight car. Which again, it's funny because she's just screaming out, and then Fuka and Pito are like, "Oh, it's okay, Llenn. You'll be fine. You're good." And freaking Lenn's like, "Please, if I die, I'm gonna curse you guys and everything, and I'm gonna bring you to the bottom depths of hell." And they're like, "Oh, please, this is just virtual. You're not gonna really die." It is funny on the fact that Llenn does believe like, okay, she dies, like she's gone for good. Even though realistically, this ain't like season 2 of SAO with Death Gun, where one shot he can kill you right then and there with that storyline. But that's the whole thing right then and there. Which is actually quite interesting. It is quite interesting with the fact about the whole Death Gun stuff. And I think Gun Gale Online season 2 takes place after, or no, I think the Gun Gale Online series takes place after the season 2 incidents with Death Gun, which is why they obviously avoid that situation and everything. Because I think because they obviously improved the squad jams going forward and everything, right? Because if I haven't watched season 2 in quite a while, but I think they made Squad Jam 1, which was with Kirito and Xenon, and then Death Gun in it. They made that obviously a one-person battle royale, and then as of late, they kind of been doing the team stuff because Llenn and Fuka teamed up together in the Squad Jam, right? Um, so there is that. But anyways, she's running around, and it gets to a point where like she's starting to get nicked up, and she's starting to get shot at, and people are actually starting to connect some shots. They're not obviously killing her, but they're giving her like nicks of damage in her health and everything, right? So, you get more acrobatic stuff here. Like there was one part where she's running, like it's clear like she's got like these people shooting at her right in front of her, but then she like basically somersaults, over like this train car, and then just keeps running. Like again, she's like fast as hell. If you forgot from the first season, like she's pretty damn fast. And also too, the fact that she has a P90 as her weapon, it also doesn't slow her down. It continues to keep her very fast. She's probably one of the fastest characters in the entire series as a whole, just because of her speed stat from Gun Gale Online, right? So she's very hard to hit. But anyways, what happens is M says, hey, we're gonna fire up a signal flare, just keep your eyes peeled. And there's this big gigantic blue flare, right? And then that's when Lenn's like, oh, I see. Fuka must have put up one of her like thermal, one of her thermal grenade launchers, and M shot it to make this big massive explosion. Tell me where they're at, right? And plus it makes it to where it's like they clearly know, that makes the opponents know like, okay, what the hell is that? And clearly it also helps like know if that's like, they don't know if it's flare or something like that, right? Anyways, she finds them. They're basically hanging out in a freight car, right? That's what they're doing, and this is basically going to be their base of operations for the for the rest of the episode. So what ends up happening is, even though Llenn does escape those people, the remaining individuals, the remaining teams ended up actually following her from afar, and they end up firing like these flare missiles and working together, and they are making like a joint alliance essentially, right? It's the same thing you typically see in some battle royales. I know in like Warzone you can do it because you can turn on like prox chat and you can actually talk to your opponents right then and there. And typically, and sometimes like you can make like alliances or working together or something like that. If you want to, you don't have to, some people do that, and I don't like that, because it's like the whole objective of the game is you're supposed to take each other out. You're not supposed to work with each other, like. But people believe like if I team up, it gives me a better chance to win, because hey, if it's a lobby of like three of trios, right? If I can get like another team of 3, we'll have like 6 people against 3 people. They'll think they may be able to take like 1 or 2 of us out, but then we'll still have 4 more left to take you out, right? So some people actually do that in battle royales. They actually like team up and work together, right? And usually that's kind of the whole thing, like, oh, we'll work together till we get to the end of the thing, right? So that's the whole thing, right? Anyways, you get that happening, and they're starting to come up. They're starting to approach the freight car. So what they end up doing is, Picho ends up coming out, and she's like, "Hey boys, how you doing? What's going on?" Anyways, she goes back down, and they're obviously like all pissed off because, again, people do not like Picho. They hate her. So they just start unloading like rounds on the freight car. Now, listen, if you're playing any fucking game, any first person shooter game, if you think like you can shoot into a freight car, like you can try this on Warzone. That shit does not work. Bullets do not go through the freight car, right? And everything. And they're just continuously shooting, and that's the whole point of the objective, right? Get them to unload and make them not think straight, right? So Pito gets her basically her lightsaber, because they call it photon sword in Gun Gale Online, but it's legitimately, since I even watched the first season, I'm like, bro, this game's got lightsabers in this game. So she basically put holes throughout the freight car, and essentially what happens is they stick their basically their gun the gun hole through the hole, and they start unloading, start shooting. And obviously in Gun Gallon Line with the bullet lines, um, it basically can alert your opponents, and they basically take out like a good 30 of the troops right there, the Alliance troops. The people retreat at first, but they're like, my goodness, thank goodness you're here and everything. We got backup, right? And this is like one of the funniest lines. He's like, all right, we can take them out. So we still got 24, right? Yeah, let's do this. And I'm just like, but they took out 30. Why you like you're flexing like as in 24 is good enough to beat someone, right? No, it's not good enough, because why would 24 be good enough to beat them when they took out 30? I People just feel like they have a reason, right? Um So what happens is this dude reveals that he has a gun, that he's a grenade launcher, and he's like, I'm gonna get a little bit closer so I can fire it in. We'll take them all out, and then we can jump in there and kill them all, right? So what ends up happening is they see the bullet line of the gun grenade launcher, and Fuga's like, obviously Fuga this entire time was looking up just to check to see if there was any grenades being launched and everything, right? So she's like, whoa, 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 we got grenade launcher on site, right? So then Pito's like, good, okay, I'll be able to shoot this thing out the sky. And Lenn's like, wait, what the heck are you talking about? How can you do that? And Pito's like, look, in real life, you can't do that. But because in GGO, there's a bullet line, I can see the trajectory of the grenade launcher, which, that's actually like accurate. Because in real life, if you're in a war, you would not be able to see the bullet line of where a grenade launcher would be landing at, right? So you wouldn't be able to shoot it out the sky. Shit, even in freaking Fortnite and Warzone, you won't be able to do that because there is no bullet line like that, right? So, anyways, that they see the grenade, she has a shotgun, shoots it out of the sky, and everything, and basically that counteracts what they do. They shoot up obviously the remaining forces, and they take them all out for good, right? And that's basically it. And they're like, well, yeah, we should stay here all day. We can win this whole thing. And basically, P2 and M are like, yeah, no, we can't do that, because they see the water rising and it's approaching them. So at some point, they're going to have to move. And hey, that's a battle royale tactic. Sometimes you like to camp and take people out and everything. That's a good strategy. But sometimes, like, the bad part is you will have to move if, like, you're not in the circle or the next, storm point or whatever, where the next, area is at. And that makes you have to find a new camping spot. So, whatever. It was solid episode. Definitely solid battle tactics episode. Pito being smart to even think of putting, making holes in the freight car, to basically have it to where they can shoot from the freight car, and it's not really a damn thing, people can do, right? And it's so small of a hole, like their bodies don't even get targeted, right? And realistically, like the bullet line that is opposing or showing everybody's face, boom, there's nothing they can do. So that's the thing right then and there. But it's definitely a solid show, and I definitely do enjoy Gun Gallon Line. But anyways, I'll catch you guys next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day, night, or watching this video. Till then, guys, peace.